Hola.
Hey,
How you doing, man?
great. So good to
Good.
see you.
You too. You got the San Diego. Look at that beautiful bay in the background.
Yeah, Little Italy. I'm gonna go in though
Nice.
'cause it's a little noisy.
You got the. I heard all the sirens and everything. The San Diego sirens.
Yeah, yeah. We live by airport and train station, and all the best restaurants in San Diego.
There you go. Where's that at? Little Italy. Is that? That's not by the stadium, is it?
It's close to the airport. I mean, the
Oh, the
airport.
airport.
Yeah, I'll show you right here. I'll show you the airport.
I love the airport. Honestly, it's one of the fastest airports to get in and out of. Oh, look at that. That's cool.
So it's right. That yellow thing right there is a plane.
Yeah,
It's actually way close to, like, it looks tinier in this video than it is, and it's much bigger.
that's cool. Yeah, I know where it's at.
Yeah.
I love that area.
Yeah. So, all right. Anthony Trucks, the man, the myth, the legend, the
Unless you ask my
legendary.
wife and kids, then I'm just dad. I'm just a guy who go take the garbage out, dad. All right.
Yep, for sure. So, yeah, dude, so I want to tell everybody before we got started, Anthony and I, we hopped on the phone to just start chatting about what we're going to be chatting about, just kind of like get on the same page. And we got into some really deep, great stuff. Um, and so I know Anthony because we are in a secret mastermind. Is it a secret? Can we talk about it? I don't even know
I
if we.
think we can. I mean, if you say something, if I have to kill you, right? I could tell you, but I have to kill you, kind of thing.
So we get together with like some of the most badass human beings on planet Earth out in Puerto Rico, where I live the other part of the time. Right now, I'm out in San Diego, but yesterday I was in Puerto Rico. Just flew into San Diego today.
Yeah.
So like all the biggest name influencers, um, Brendan's the guy who's spearheads it, and
Yeah.
Brendan Burchard, and then you got Lewis Howes and Russell Brunson and Dean Graziosi and
Kenny and Trent Shelton and Jay Shetty and Princey A and Hollises is a bunch of names, man. It's crazy.
yeah, I know, like how like I don't want to sell you short, but I'm like, how did I end up in this group?
Yeah,
Um,
no, I feel the same, man. I'm like, I don't know if I belong here, but I'm gonna sit here and just listen and take in all the juices. Give me all the juices. I
yeah,
want all of it in my brain.
yeah. So they're a great people, great group, and that's where you and I met. We've gotten to hang out a bunch of times in Puerto Rico and virtually as well. So, but dude, you've been on American Ninja Warrior, right?
Yeah, American Ninja Warrior, man. Yeah, 3 times actually. I shouldn't have been. I'm way too big.
Well, that's amazing. So tell us, like, I wanted, I was like, how do I introduce this guy? Because he's done a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Why don't you give everybody a quick intro of your own, and then
Yeah,
we'll
a
dive
quick
into some
intro.
hot
Uh,
content.
so so I used to play in the NFL. When I got done with the NFL, well, the NFL got done with me. We'll say I tore my shoulder. I came home. I've been an American Ninja Warrior, Nat Geo. I've been featured in a whole bunch of weird publications. I've done a lot of cool stuff. I now speak and travel the world. I'm a coach as well, like Christian. I'm a speaker. I hop on stage and just let loose. But who I am is because of who I grew up as, which was a kid that was given away at 3 years old in foster care, adopted by an all-white, poor family, was in the system for 11 years, had a kid at 20 years old, then my real dad at 21. Man, I had a lot of weird craziness, like it just a lot of craziness in my life. Like between 3 and 6, I was in 5 different houses, like beaten and starved and tortured, like really heinous stuff that people do to kids. And I had an adoptive mom who loved me past like the wall that I had put up because I mean when you're getting like forced to lick the bottom of shoes and pushed in shopping carts down hills and just tormented, like you don't and your
Jeez.
real mom doesn't want you around, like you don't really feel like you have much, and the world becomes this wall. And so statistically, like if you look at any prison in America, 75% of the inmates are former foster kids, 50% of the homeless population are former foster kids, and like 1% of us graduate college. So I wasn't supposed to do much, and I did a lot. And so at this point in my life, I give that back through the lessons I learned through just craziness in life.
Jeez, man. Thank you for sharing that. Um, my bio is much shorter. Well, I'm not. I mean, probably could be really long too, but I'm going to keep myself simple. I'm just a guy that learned how to get lots of coaching clients. And so now I want to share that with everybody. I'm also a number one best-selling author of many books, including Get Clients Today, which we're going to give everybody a copy of right now. So if anybody wants a copy of that book, you can go to getclientstodaybook.com.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So we were talking about how, getting clients. Yeah, there's secrets to getting clients. There's strategies for getting clients. There's no doubt about it. Like I have some of the best stuff that you guys are going to get for free in my book, getclientstodaybook.com.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that we were talking about is like the secret to success. A big part of it is your identity.
Yeah.
So, and then we were talking about how I don't like being cold. Like I don't like to get in the water unless the water's. That's one of the reasons why, like, I love Puerto Rico, because the water is pretty warm. And even though it's really warm, even some days it's like a little chilly for me, and I get myself in there, but it's like, so I'm a super baby when it comes to being cold. And then I have, right now, all the cold plunges and ice baths are like all the rage. Everybody's like, go do that. You should do it. You should do it.
I was doing it for years. That's all we did in the NFL.
Nice. So a lot of my buddies have been telling me, like, go do these cold plunges. It's going to be so good for you. And I was like, no, I don't know if I want to do it. And then finally one night I was like, all right, tomorrow I'm going to do the cold plunge. And then the next day I was like, shit, like, pardon my French there, my English. But I was like, damn, like, I'm so mad at yesterday's Christian for saying I was going to do it, because now I have to do it. And my friend was like, wait, like, don't try to talk yourself out of it, or like, don't give up on it. And I'm like, no, I'm not trying to say I'm not going to do it. I'm like, I'm mad I'm going to do it because I said I was going to do it.
Yeah.
Because I do what I say. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And you were saying, like, that's because that's who you are.
Yeah. It's a separation that people miss all the time. It's kind of this, you ever like lost your keys and you go looking for your keys and you find them and like they're right there the whole time. They're in your hand, or like, hey, where's my phone, right? It's kind of this thing where the thing we're looking for has always been with us. We didn't realize it. And so like your identity that's your operating system. Like our phone is an operating system. You don't think about the operating system. It runs the programs, relationships, business, health. And so what happens is the way that you operate is transparent within that, but people miss out on the clear thing of, they think it's the information. I gotta get all the information, consume. And it's not the information, it's who you are with it. The fact that you say, hey, I am a human being, that part of my identity is that I do things I commit to. Well, at first you'll be selective on what you commit to, but two, in the moment when everything hits the fan, two people arrive. One person's going to shut down and make an excuse and walk away, and it's okay, justify. Other person's you, who gets in the cold plunge. I don't want to do it, but I'm still going to do it. And that's the way your system operates. And so even if you didn't have a strategy in that moment, Christian, you would still, the identity of you would find a way to still do it. And that's the separator. It's so simple, yet incredibly powerful, because it doesn't matter what I'm doing here. We're like, hey, I'm going to get a cold plunge. It felt good because it was far off. I'm not worried about it. But then two things happen past that. There's a moment that is the planned moment. What do I do in it? And what do I do in unplanned moments? And those are the ones that make or break our lives, our business, our relationship, because in that planned moment, do you follow through? A lot of people create vision boards and they never come to life, right? And then when things hit the fan, people don't know what to do because they have no plan for that moment. And what happens is mindset is no longer the primary, because like when you reach the extent of what your mindset has as a tool or affirmation, what then shows up is your identity to place to fill in that gap. And if it's not of your identity to do X, Y, or Z, you never reach the top. So all the information you have lands on nothing because you aren't the person to utilize it right yet.
So real quick, I'm going to share one more little story, and then I want to hear I want to ask you an important question about identity. Mm-hmm. A buddy of mine years ago, when I was struggling in the early days of growing my coaching business, I tell this story all the time. In fact, it's in my book, getclientstodaybook.com. I tell the story all the time about how when I was really struggling, I've been coaching for a couple of years, and I took out the garbage, and I was like, I'm exhausted from all the struggle. And I'm like, I'm just going to quit and become a garbage man. Like, I thought being a garbage man was going to be just a nice, easier path. Not that it would be a great job, but like I was so exhausted from trying so hard and failing so hard And anyway, so I was taking out the garbage, and I thought, I'm just going to quit. I'm going to be a garbage man and get a regular paycheck and benefits. And I told my best friend, and he's like, first of all, you'd be terrible garbage man. Second of all, he's like, you're too good of a coach. You can't quit. And then the third thing was, he's like, I want to challenge you to read a book every week. And I'm a really slow reader, so I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. But he was like, no, come on, I'll do it. We're going to do it together. We're going to read a book every week. And I said, I'm like, no, like I don't want to do it. Like, I'm very reluctant to commit to something unless I know I'm going to follow through. And I'm such a slow reader. I'm like, but it just so happened I was like 3/4 of the way done with one book. And I thought, wow, I could just speed through the rest of this one, get a jump start on the next one, and then maybe finish that one before the end of a week, and then get it started on a third. And so finally I was like, all right, I'll do it. And so I did. And then I read a book a week for 36 weeks straight. And my buddy who pushed me so hard, he read 3 books and stopped. So, I think that, that identity of like, and I think this, first of all, is really important for everybody to just start thinking about, like, what am I saying yes to and not following through with that maybe I can just be saying no to anyway. Yeah. Right? Like don't say, that's one of the things too, is like, I do not, I don't take on a whole lot of stuff. Like, I don't work a lot of hours. I commit to so little because I know if I'm going to commit to it, I'm going to freaking do it.
Yeah.
So that's super powerful. What are some other identities that people could take on, or part of their mental operating system, or whatever they could take on, that you think could be really powerful for people?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different. So there's actually 6 core aspects to your identity, and I don't want to dig into all of them, but I think one that'll be helpful now is the habits aspect. Right, this is not new completely. If you read any book on habits, you can read Atomic Habits, Tiny Habits, High Performance Habits, Millionaire Success Habits. You get all the habits books, and usually they'll discuss this concept that the idea is not to always have these habits that drain you, but to eventually do something where it becomes who you are. So anything out of alignment with that feels awkward, and you won't do that thing. So for you, it was in alignment now to read a book. So if you didn't read a book on week 23, you felt funky. The problem is, for a lot of us, the truth is, habits do change your identity over time. But a lot of us just grab on things, and we don't know if it's the right things for who we want to become. So we start working, and we climb this ladder, lean against a building, get to the top of the ladder, and realize, oh, it's leaning against the wrong building. I became this person through a habit I chose because Christian said I should do it, or I saw Oprah do it in some book. And I didn't realize that the habit I needed for the identity I wanted to become might have been vastly different. So what people got to realize is there's a lot of science behind habits. You can easily go and grab a book and read it all. That's not where I spend time. I spend time on clarifying, are you, one, clear on who you need to become that has the things you want in life? Like, if you want, I don't want the same things you want, I guarantee it, right? But if I do all your habits, I'm going to get to the point of climbing that ladder against the building that's not my building. So clarify in the beginning, like, who do I want to be? How do they handle family? How do they handle hardship? How do they run a business? What kind of business model do they run? What kind of shape they're in? Are they over there puking doing triathlons? They just like to go and lift weights and get big biceps. Like, who do I want to become? And then I go back and say, okay, what happens does that person need to have in life? Not my friend says I should go and start riding a bike, but you hate riding a bike. Not go and get a treadmill because your friend says to run, but then it becomes an expensive clothes hanger, right? So find out these things that are baseline, and that becomes a tactical thing I can have people do in the beginning. Because habits are habits, and they're very useful if you understand the science behind how to put them into place. But unfortunately, people do habits that don't get the return they want, and then then habits fall apart, and then I don't trust habits. I'm winging it like a leaf in the wind. It's a very tough place for us to be as humans. What's even worse right now, Christian, is a lot of us have developed these habits of how we do things that are useless in a current world. The world's changed. So now who am I? Where do I fit? What habits do I need? I'm doing the same things, not the same result. I'm frustrated. I shut down. This all sucks. And so now more than ever, people should start looking at what is the future that I want to be in? Who do I need to be in that future? And now go back and say, what habits must I put in place to work towards? There's 5 other ones, but in that section of habits, that's a very useful thing people can take right now to take back control and feel less helpless.
Nice. Nice. When you think about identity and picking, like creating an identity for yourself,
Yeah.
Like where do you start with that? Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's called an ideal identity, my man. So if you
mm-hmm.
think about it, so let's go back to this concept. There's a person who has the things I want. I don't know who that person is just yet. I can research them. You can go look up different aspects, but there's 6 core drivers. Here's the 6. There's beliefs, thoughts, habits, mindset, action, and personal pride. What am I proud about? And these all kind of overlap in a Venn diagram. So you have the big pieces are, what are my beliefs? What are my thoughts? What are the big actions I got to take for that identity? Beliefs and thoughts create mindset. Thoughts and actions create habits, and then beliefs and actions create that personal pride. So if I were trying to sit back and say, how do I architect my ideal identity? I would look at, all right, what life do I want to live? And I tell people, ask this question. Once I'm done, I'm gonna ask this question and have you guys get this piece. But that's my hook. There's a question you got to ask, and it'll drive you where you got to go. But here's what it is. First off, what beliefs does this individual, this identity have about itself and the world to a core? Like, I believe this, I'll take a bullet for this. What are the constant thoughts that are got to be consistently going through consciously that go to subconscious? What are the big actions I got to take? What are the things that I got to do and accomplish so I feel like that's me? What mindset do I have that's in line with my beliefs and thoughts? If I believe something, but I question myself, that imposter syndrome, weak mindset. But if I believe it, and yeah, you got this, Ant, I got a good mindset, things move. Then what consistent habits between the thoughts I have and actions must be in place so over time I shift into this identity? And the big one, where I have a belief and overlaps with an action. If I believe I should do this and I do it, I feel good about myself. But if I believe I should and I don't do it, oh man, I suck. I don't like if you'd have missed that cold plunge, you'd have felt like less of the guy. And that trickles in other parts of our life. Where these all overlap, you craft these. There's a process I do deeper than that called a hard method. But then we start saying the internal, that centerpiece of that Venn diagram, that's your ideal identity. And then you ask this question. In the middle of any moment that's going on, whatever it is, what you do is you say, I don't want to do this. This sucks. Okay. What would the person who has what I want in life do right now?
Mm-hmm.
And people ask the question, they always say like the future self. And I say the higher version. I'm like, I don't know if I would go with the higher version or my future self, because I don't know that person yet. And that person, the person I can't experience, but I do know what I've perceived this identity to operate as. It's like I can almost anchor to it more than I can like my future self, because it's unwritten. But I wrote this, I created this, and if I put this moment against it, I'm like, all right, I got a book to write. I don't want to write right now. I want to watch this TV show. What would the person who has that book out as a bestseller do right now? All right, I'm gonna go write this. I don't want to work out, but I know I got to be in better shape so I could be, hike with my family. Should I eat this Twinkie right now? What would the person who has what I want do? All right, I'm not going to do this. And just having that question in line with a clear aspect of what my ideal identity is, it helps edge us closer to where we got to be.
Awesome. Such good stuff. I'm in a place in my life right now where I'm reinventing myself. So this is great stuff for me. So for coaches who want to get clients, first of all, get the book, getclientstodaybook.com. And then, take these ideas that Anthony's been sharing with us, and like, who do you want to be as a coach? Do you want to be the best coach in the world, the best coach that you can be? Do you want to be the highest paid coach in the world? Do you want to be one of the most sought after coaches in the world? Do you want to be highly successful? Do you want to be? Do you want to have lots of freedom and free time? Like, what are all the results that you want? Yeah. And then who do you need to be?
Yeah,
to make those things happen.
It's just like the way I explain it. It's just take it back to the concept of an operating system in a computer. There's always these alerts that pop up, and I'm like, snooze. I don't want to deal with this. Just go update the system. Nah, snooze. And then what happens after time? The operating system, like, we're all these people waking up every day in 2020 with new hardware because we slept our bodies. It's fresh and new. And the problem is these things keep coming up, we keep snoozing them. So a lot of us are running off of Windows 95 for our life in 2020. And we're trying to put all these programs into the computer and upload them into the system, but the operating system can't handle that program because you haven't upgraded it yet. So when they get all this insight and all this nuances, it's like, man, it's not just as philosophical, it's tactical. Like when I work with clients, we break it down to like, what are you doing every 15 minutes of a day? because that starts the habits and the process of ingraining this new individual and how I handle things. But yeah, man, if you want to take your work right now and get more clients, you can get the book. You can read the whole damn thing. But if you don't do anything with it because you get stopped somewhere and and it shows up in excuses like, oh, I don't have time, or the resource, or the world change. All these things come in. They protect us in this bubble we've created for ourselves to feel like it's comfortable here. When really that discomfort, that comfort zone we talk about, it's at the edge of our identity.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't think that's me. That's the imposter that starts creeping up. I haven't done it before. What if the world? So we start creating excuses that other people believe, and we start to be okay with, that keep us small.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Hey man, I know you got to jump.
I gotta go.
Thanks for hanging with us today. This has been amazing, and let's do another one soon.
Hey, count me in, man. Anytime. I'm gonna go pop it here real quick, but enjoy sunny San Diego. I'm gonna enjoy sunny San Francisco Bay Area myself.
All right, take care, brother.
All right, take care.
Bye. All right. I hope you guys loved that. Anthony's awesome, man. Can't wait to do more great stuff with him. And if you are a coach and you want to get clients, go to getclientstodaybook.com, download a free copy of the book, and I'm giving it away for free starting today for a big launch that we do once a year. Well, this turns out we're doing it twice this year, but we usually do it once a year. We did it in January, doing it now, and then we won't do it again for about a year. For free sessions that sell, which is a program that teaches you how to get clients. But get the book for free. And I have a live training coming up on Friday, which will share with you how to create coaching programs and packages that sell. But for now, just go get the book, and you'll be registered for this free class. GetClientsTodayBook.com. It's been great hanging with everybody. I'll catch you guys again soon. Remember, people need our help. Let's get people coached.